The finals is changing the future of first-person shooters, and whether or not it ends up dropping off or a total success in the long run does not change the foothold that it currently has over the community. Now, before we go any further, if you're wondering what this game even is or what it has to offer, I highly suggest that you go back and you watch my previous video where I go in depth as to why the game is absolutely brilliant. Before we get into it, if you guys end up enjoying this content, make sure you guys smack that subscribe button, show a little bit of love, hit the notification bells to make sure that you guys are updated with any future uploads. And lastly, feel free to voice your guys' opinion in the comment section below, whether or not you guys agreed or disagreed with any parts of the video. I'm always happy to hear some feedback. Now, as of recently, it feels like when a first-person shooter game comes out, there's two things they focus on. One, unfortunately, is Battle Royale. Now, I'm not saying that Battle Royale games are bad, but this is a trend that has been utilized so many times, and just like any other corporation, video games is very cutthroat. There has to be something new that you have to be giving to the community every single year if you want them to stick around and play your game. And point number two is affecting the actual base gameplay itself. And what I mean by that is, if you want your player base to stick around from year to year, you need to show considerable growth from the first game released to the next year release. It cannot feel like the same game, kind of what it feels like with Modern Warfare 2 over to Modern Warfare 3. Now, in terms of the finals, when I try to think about the finals being in a category with Call of Duty or any sort of Battle Royale game, it doesn't sit right. And why doesn't it sit right? Well, it's very simple. There's one major key characteristic as to why the game feels like it stands out alone, and as to why it doesn't feel like it falls or is entrapped by the two categories that I explained. Now, what exactly is it? It's one simple word. Now, I have to admit, upon my initial play, I had no clue that Demolition was going to change the absolute way that I play this game entirely. For example, if I'm sick and tired of dying and I'm just getting shit on and I want to just have fun with the game, well, guess what? My buddies and I can stop focusing on the objective, we can go find a building and we can bring the entire thing down. Or if we want to spice things up a little bit, we can look at the objective, kind of strategize as to how we want to take it down, and we might even blow up the entire building or drop the floors below the objective to make it a little bit more interesting for our opponents. Now, there is no doubt that demolishing things is fun, but the real question is, how does this actually change the future of first-person shooters? Now, this is just my own opinion, but I'm definitely feeling like every single gaming company out there is taking note as to what exactly Demolition does to the style of gameplay. I think that moving forward, each game is going to start implementing some sort of Demolition into their own game, kind of similar to how Rainbow Six Siege has been doing their thing, along with how Battlefield actually does it themselves. Now, there's one more huge characteristic that I don't see a lot of people talking about, and this is the fact that Demolition kind of removes a dominant meta in the game. Now, what I mean by that is, yes, I absolutely understand that there is going to be certain loadouts that are definitely more viable than others, along with different playstyles and different guns, different gadgets. However, I definitely feel like the Demolition additive into the game makes you as a player more attentive to your surroundings and how every single circumstance might actually play out if somebody decides to shoot the floor below you or just take out the building entirely. Now, on a different note separate from Demolition, the tournament mode inside of the finals I think is going to be a game breaker for the esports scene. And on top of that, I think it's going to ease a lot of stress, because the bracket style itself is beautiful for just randomly placing teams into the bracket, allowing them to play it out. That bracket itself will allow the audience to actually be able to understand a little bit more as to how the bracket looks, how people can advance, and what each team needs to do to advance to the next round. And on top of the point of the audience being able to understand, what makes the finals beautiful is that I truly believe any new audience member from the outside looking in can watch the finals, completely understand what exactly the objective is, and on top of that, just not even get confused at all while the game's being played. Now, one of the biggest things, or the hardest things for me as an outsider looking into some esports, is there are times where I don't truly appreciate the type of skills that the players themselves actually present. The game itself is a little bit more confusing for me to understand, and because of that, as an outsider looking in, I can't really take into appreciation what they're doing. And this is the exact reason why I think the finals is going to be standing out. I don't really foresee anybody getting confused with the game. It's very simplistic, yet there's so much to do, and it doesn't matter if you're a newcomer or you're familiar with the game. Just looking at what somebody's doing is very understandable, and there's really not a lot of confusion going on. And another thing is the pacing of the game. I think that each round and how long the games actually take themselves is very moderate. It's not too long, it's not too short, and it feels just right. But yeah, these were just some of the things that I've observed that the finals has been doing very well, and why I think that it's absolutely going to change the future of first-person shooters. And thank you so much if you ended up sticking around this long. You guys seriously do not understand how motivating it is to see the feedback that you guys have on each of my videos, and I just love that you guys are here to watch the channel grow and evolve into something special. But like usual, make sure you guys are commenting down below what you guys agreed with, what you guys disagreed with, and make sure you guys are letting me know any future content that you guys want to see from me. But until then, it was wonderful being your host, and seriously, thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.